Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is general or collective. Parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, so if you are watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, I did a quick meditation with my Super 7 crystal, and that's in the background of this painting. The card that came out for the tarot is the Page of Wands. And so the Page of Wands is information, communication coming in, possibly from when you are younger, because the pages would work for the King and the Queen at a young age, 7 to 14. That would be, back in those days, they didn't have the life expectancy we do now, so people got to work earlier. This would be a real coup for them, though. He has a feather in his cap. He, to be able to work for the King and Queen and be dressed to the nines and learn all about the ways of the elite and be educated was a big coup for him, and really prestigious for his family. His main job would be to, deliver communication within the court. And when he got older, then if he was still there when he was 21, he might even be considered for knighthood if he could afford his own horse. So each of the pages has their element, and he represents the element of fire. This is wooden wands feed the fire. So this is talking about taking passionate action. So some sort of information, this could be information or communication is coming in. And it may be from the time frame when you were in elementary school, in high school, or college, university, starting out in the workforce, maybe apprenticing for someone. And so this energy is talking about someone who's, optimistic and upbeat and ready to get out into the world. And, think of a young masculine energy that wants to explore the world, see the wonders. That's what the pyramids in the background here represent. And the one thing that you have to keep in mind about the Page of Wands is that, he really admires his wand and he's very passionate about it. So when he brings information in, quite often he is thinking with his little head. And so you have to double check his information. Sometimes it's a little bit overly optimistic, and he doesn't, and maybe the information is a little bit scrambled because quite often he has his mind on other things. And then we have the Judgment is coming from the Oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. This is about the cosmic heart and God's judgment on the spiritual realm. When you think about it, God is the only one who's really qualified to judge another human being. I mean, we do have, of course, we have court systems, and this represents the judgment from God coming down into the physical courts and it being played out there. But, we don't really know what other people have been through when they were children or whatever, causes them to behave the way they are. But God knows, that judgment is best left on a spiritual level to God. But in the physical, once the spiritual judgment has been passed, the judgment comes down into the 3D world. And that's what we're talking about here, is judgment not only on the spiritual level, but also on the physical. And then we have the Wounded Warrior, and this is talking about you taking a lot of action, and maybe you were feeling really passionate about something and you've landed 8 of the 10 wands. You're leaning heavy on this 9th one. So this is saying that you have really accomplished a lot. It's been challenging. You can tell by the way this person is standing here. You have this 9th wand. You're holding it close to your heart. And you've landed these 8 in the background, and so you've only got 1 more to go after this one. You can tell it's been challenging. Your head's band-aid. You might have a bad headache from all of what you've been through. But it's saying that you've done your best to stay on your destined path. You've been, done your best to be the best version you can be of yourself, do things the correct way, and be a good human being. So this is a big congratulations. You're getting very close to completing a major project or mission. And we do have the Magician here, and the Magician is talking about an energetic upgrade coming up in your life. This is as above, so below, that your thoughts that, your heavenly thoughts, the God-given talents that you've been given, bringing those down to earth to create a beautiful garden for yourself and for others, to make the world a more beautiful place. And this is talking 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. And we do have the tools on the bench here saying that you have everything you need to be able to move forward, but you need to apply yourself by learning how to use these tools, and then also to be more efficient, to know which tool to use for whatever you need done. And this is saying that, you're very capable of doing this at this time, and that if you stay on your path here and continue to move forward, that you're going to soon see more of the reward and less of the struggle. Basically, that's what this is coming up as. And the one thing that you may have noticed if you do have a garden is that, when you leave the tools laying around in the yard, they don't get up and do the work themselves. So it's saying continue to do the work because you're so close. And then we have, even if it seems like it's far away and nothing's happening, it is happening on the spiritual level. And once it happens on the spiritual level, that's everything happens on the spiritual before it happens in the physical. And we have this energy here of the Five of Wands. This is talking about immature competition. And this is my Mean Girls card. This is, sometimes this can represent sibling rivalry. You might have come from a large family. There's 5 people arguing here with each other. Sibling rivalry happens, and we usually grow out of it. The immature competition, the reason I call this my Mean Girls cards, it reminds me of when people are in competition and they have to win, even when they shouldn't. So this is talking about, think about narcissistic cheerleaders at a competition, and, they made the team, so they're already winners. And now they have to win the trophy because they have a reputation to keep up. And the energy is like they're at this competition, and another team is clearly better than them, and they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like, they're going to beat us. They're going to get the trophy instead of us. So, instead of watching the team and thinking, okay, well, this time they're going to get the trophy, and if we want the trophy the next time, let's really put some energy into watching what they're doing so we can figure out how they're doing these moves. And, we'll practice really hard, and when we get to the next competition, we'll be able to compete with them. But instead, they plan and scheme, how can they possibly, trip these people up on the other team. And if they don't succeed on, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes and make sure they get that trophy. So it's that type of immature competition. When we mature, we start to realize, hey, any competition we're really in competition with ourselves. Can you keep your shift together when you're under pressure? Like, when it really matters, are you able to, perform at the highest level you can? And a lot of times people think, oh, well, you have to be so much better than the other team to win. But actually, you only have to be 1% better and you will win. So even if every person on the team decides, okay, I'm going to be at least 1% better than I was the last time, that, that really adds up when you have a team effort like that. So, it's always smarter to learn from the competition, be inspired by the competition, and that's when you really learn a lot. And you don't have to always learn things the hard way then. And then we have this energy here of the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles energy is talking about the Pentacles in Tarot represent your health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. A big part of that, of course, is money. We have to have money to be able to, do well in the planet. And, that's why this is the element of earth. And so this is about earthly matters and physical matter on the earth. And it's talking about Not just the making of money, though. That's a big part. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be, living the lifestyle that you want. And so if you don't have your health and you don't have love in your life, what will the money really matter to you as much? I mean, it's always great to have money, but we're talking more about lifestyle here, about really enjoying your life. And this is someone that has, probably upper middle class, and they are giving money to this person because his discernment is telling him this person, really could use it and will put it to good use and, upgrade their life with it. Whereas this person, he has the scales of justice hanging over his head, and this person has something in his pocket already. This is a grifter, someone who wants to use this person's money instead of risking their own, and like, it's okay, no thank you, you're not getting my money. This also can represent breadcrumbing from other people. Like, you might not be getting what you deserve for the work that you're putting into something if you're working for someone else, or there's something going on behind the scenes, and it feels like this is an energy that when the page shows up here, it can really go back to that time, that this information could be about this energy. Back when you were younger, we've got the sibling rivalry, and we've got this energy of being breadcrumbs. So we'll just keep going and see here. We do have the 8 of Swords. So the sword energy is the element of air, your thoughts. The swords represent mental intelligence and discipline of the mind. And there's 8 here, and there's 7 behind her. Like, there's absolutely nothing physically stopping her from moving forward, but she's in her own mental prison here. And all this binding around her can talk about feeling like duty bound for some reason. Like, generally, that means that it's people that you care about, and you're having these thoughts. And this is about having to make a decision that you don't want to have to make, and looking at a situation but not really wanting to see it, and or not being able to find the right answer. That, like, none of the solutions are working for you. But the water in tarot represents emotion, and I feel like when she started there was way more emotion here. But her right foot is now on dry land, moving forward. Your right foot forward means you're ready to take action. And her left foot is still hanging back in this puddle, but it's very shallow. So I think when she started, she's put, now 7 thoughts behind her. When she started, there was way more emotion. But now she's, when you let go of the emotion and you calm down, then you can think more clearly. And so she's managed to put these 7 thoughts behind her. And I feel she's getting ready to move forward with this thought. This is the best thought that she can come up with for the situation. Soon she'll take her blindfold off, cut herself free, and take action on this thought. She has these 7 behind her, and behind her is also, to her back, is her castle. So that can represent an energy of having to turn your back on your home, your family, people you care about, people that you love or that you love, situation that you love, work that you love, something significant, or maybe all of those, and move forward in a totally different way. So this is a challenging card for sure. But once you make the decision to take action, you're going to be better off than not taking any action at all. Yeah, and look we have judgment being called on the tarot here as well. So it's talking about God's judgment, the universe. And generally, a lot of times this will talk about, karma as well. But the karma, a lot of people feel, karma is actually punishment, but it's really your cause and effect from your actions and sometimes your inactions. You could have direct karma from you do something and it causes suffering and struggle and maybe the demise of other people. That's an action. Or you don't take action and you could have stopped it. And worse yet, it may be that you're in a position of authority and you could have stopped it but chose not to because it was more beneficial for you, and it's sitting on this pentacle energy. So sometimes that can be about that. Indirect karma could involve your ancestors. The ancestors are literally climbing out of their boxes here, and they are cheering like woohoo, like the angel is blowing her horn and judgment is finally being called. This could represent an energy of going way back to when you were a child. You know, I don't know, whatever, depending on whatever age you are, but this would definitely say when you were in elementary school, high school, or starting college, university. It could be someone that you knew back then is involved in this information, or that's the age group you're at. Or it even could represent someone from your past that you maybe haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years. And so, and sometimes this can also be showing indirect karma. You know, so your ancestors may have had unfinished business that they couldn't clean up, and then it ends up being a debt that has to be paid by the descendants. And the descendants are waving to them over the veil here, across the veil, and saying, we've got it. Like, you know, and the ancestors are thrilled because finally, whatever, they can rest in peace once this energy is cleared up. And we have a soulmate energy coming in. So along with this judgment of, you know, it's not uncommon that when God's judgment is called, that all of a sudden the energy shifts. And so this is the energetic upgrade coming in after, I feel, after you took action and made a decision. That's when judgment is called. And this is talking about a soulmate energy. The soulmate energy is like on a spiritual level, making a choice before coming, you know, to the planet to do your thing, that you would hook up at some point in this cycle, and you would be able to hang out with each other. And this is like talking about keeping on your destined path and empowering each other. These two people, they're complete in themselves. Like their masculine and feminine energy is very balanced within each other, within themselves. So this is not like they're completing each other or anything like this. This is just like we really enjoy each other's company. And quite often it is romantic, but it doesn't have to be. And it's just quite often also this could be an odd couple. Like these two people could be very different from each other, but they're in strong communication with source energy, with God. And so this is talking about, you know, what I call HSN, the higher self network, being totally tuned in. And so they can connect with source energy, and then combining their energy, you can see it turning into these hearts that they're, you know, they just make life more fun, you know, enjoyable. And that's the energy. That's a huge reward for staying on your path. And then we have, it's like a breath of fresh air coming in. You know, look at the difference from this to this. This is talking about, sometimes it can be an epiphany, like an aha moment that comes from yourself. When this page comes in, it can be like, oh, you know how you'll be sitting there and like a word's on the tip of your tongue, and then, you know, 3 hours later, boom, you remember it. It's that type of energy. The Page of Swords is the only one that's not looking at his element, because he already knows the logical question. The sword is, for your mental intelligence, is a double-edged sword. One side is your logic and the other edge is your intuition. So if you use both, you're more likely to come to a creative solution. And this energy is talking about someone, you know, he already knows the logical question. He's thinking outside the box, looking away from his logic, and thinking, okay, what is the answer? You know, like a creative solution, using his intuition. He's feeling for the answer instead of thinking about it. And then this energy also can talk about, sometimes it's talking about spy energy and investigation happening. You know, someone really looking into things, looking into the future, looking into what's going on. It can represent technology being used, like hidden cameras, hot mics, that type of energy in either legal or illegal investigations. So this is a need to know kind of energy, a wanting to know, an investigation. You know, in the old days, the pages, the information would always be in person, but for them, you know, these days it could be a phone call, a text message. You might get something in the mail. It could be paperwork coming towards you, an email. You know, maybe you're on social media and someone messages you. You could you go to an event posted there and then run into someone and they're the perfect person. They have the exact information you need. It's also a really good idea to keep an eye on what's going on at the top of the pyramid with the elite. With the people that run the country and the trends and all of that can be really helpful in business and just give you an idea of, you know, the bigger picture instead of just being in your own little world. It can give you some really good ideas sometimes. And we do have the Knight of Wands coming in. Now, interestingly enough, this would be the same. This would be the Page of Wands has now grown up and he's a Knight of Wands. So this is talking, you know, 30 to 35 years maybe of time that has gone by since you've been, you know, like that this information is coming in about. Because the Page of Wands is now the Knight and he's now a rebel with a cause. He has a big red plume on his the back of his helmet. This is saying he could be really impulsive, but he has learned to rein his emotions in and control his, you know, discipline his mind. He's very passionate still, but the horse represents his heartfelt energy and his passion. And look how far back now, like you see how the pyramids were close up. He's already explored those. And so they're in the distance now. And he's looking for a new adventure. So this is about taking action on this epiphany that you have. And possibly this is, maybe you've met your soulmate and it spurs you on to go on your journey, you know, and in a passionate way. So this would be really awesome energy moving forward. And the Hierophant comes in then. So this is talking about the Judgment has been called, and now the Hierophant is the traditional structure of, you know, the law systems on the planet, and also from the spiritual realm, bringing that energy into religion, churches. This could represent like the Pope, the Cardinal, the Bishop, gurus, rabbis, whatever religion you are involved in. This can represent that coming through there and then being brought down to the physical. If you're more on the spiritual end and you like to go straight to the source of the energy and commune through meditation and prayer, then that would represent that energy coming then down into the physical and the traditional structures around the world, you know, of the court systems and the energy around that. The Hierophant does have his right hand in a blessing. It's saying if you're on the right side of the law, this is going to be a blessing. If you're on the wrong side of the law, spiritual and or physical, well, you've been caught. And it's talking about, you know, the karma when, you know, that the karma starts to hit. And depending, I mean, if there's 35 years of karma here, it could hit pretty hard here. It could be a big wallop, man. We have after the dark night of the soul. So I feel that this is talking about all this energy that you've had to go through to get to this point. And hermit climbs the mountain and to isolate. And this is talking about communing with God so that you can get this judgment, this justice coming through. Now it's showing up in the physical realm. This is talking about having the dark night of the soul is when something really shakes your foundation. Perhaps when this information came in, it was a lot, and maybe a lot for you to take in. Definitely something that had you really, you know, in a mental prison here. And we have this energy also of, you know, the hermit goes up to the top of the mountain, isolates, prays, meditates, communes with God. And then when his rod is, his lantern is full of the North Star energy, your North Node, it lights up your your rod here, and it's time to come down from the mountain then, and okay, now take this action. And that's the energy that we have going on here. Let's see, what else do we have going? The Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is talking about, you know, this energy of being breadcrumbed, like of, you know, putting in a lot of energy into something, and for whatever reason it doesn't pay off the way it should in your lifestyle. And you notice that this energy is again leaving the home behind. And so this is talking about having the base, a strong base for being able to make money, but then you know, your heart's desires and then your crown and glory. So sometimes this can talk about, you know, you need to leave your comfort zone to be able to move forward and go after your heart's desires when it comes to your lifestyle and the money that you are able to make, and to get on your destined path and like really be in what you really are here to do. To get to your crown and glory. And this is sitting on this judgment, and I feel part of the energy is the soulmate energy coming in to empower you in this journey. We do have some, you know, someone, you know, if you look how tightly someone is holding on to this coin, and that could represent this energy down here. So there's quite a few cards here about judgment coming in on the spirit, on the physical. But I'm going to go through it, and I will talk about that in a minute. Yeah, like there's some pentacle energy missing here for sure. This person is staring at this pile and going, you know, I put 6 pentacles of time, money, and energy invested, and this is what I got out of it. And this is someone who's used to being successful. So he's like, I don't understand why this wasn't successful. And it looks like the reason why is someone else is holding your money tight to them. And, you know, where is this energy coming from? It feels like it's coming from like 30 up to 35 years ago, from someone you knew back when you were in elementary school or, you know, high school, college, when you started the workforce. That type, that what we described. And so this person is like, where's my lifestyle? Where's my money? You know, and this is talking about someone else holding it for you. How kind of them. This can talk about needing, like, as I said, to leave your comfort zone and taste. This could be someone risking everything to hang on to your money. And it can also represent you starting to realize what is going on here, that there's some sort of, you know, this could be about a business partner. This could be someone you went into business when you were younger. It could be family business, whatever this is, an investment, some sort of energy around that. And the Empress energy is here. Now, the Empress energy is sitting on the Hierophant energy and the Dark Night of the Soul. And this energy of this information, the breath of fresh air, the epiphany coming through. So I do feel like quite often when the Empress comes in and it's showing all this type of energy, it's saying that, wow, like you've really had to learn a lot. And you're kind of out of this breadcrumbing energy because of it now. Like everything that you've been through and doing your best to stay on your destined path, it has created a situation where you're elevated to the Empress energy, which is a very powerful manifester. This is talking about being able to manifest at a high level, and the Empress embodies the qualities of all 4 queens from the minor arcana to do so. You know, this talks about her ability to have bumper crops every time, and she's pregnant with possibility. So this also can represent an energy of something about a pregnancy happening. If you're not wanting to get pregnant, this is saying you're very fertile at this time. So, you know, if you don't want to get someone pregnant or you don't want to get pregnant yourself, make sure you take care of that energy. And look at this. We have the Queen of Swords on top here. I'm just, this energy is kind of like, the Queen of Swords on top here can represent an energy of someone being really cold at this time. And I don't know, I'm almost feeling like it's like, give me the rest of your money. You know, she's got her left hand out. There could be an energy here. The Queen of Swords energy could be someone that has been in, you know, it's an energy of, sometimes this can represent someone who's divorced. The Queen of Swords can be someone who has learned discernment now. She has learned that, you know, you can't give too much of yourself away to other people if you want to be able to stay, you know, in this Empress energy. It can also represent that she has her head above the clouds now, and she's willing to receive, but she does not want anyone coming into her incorrect. So like, it's talking about an energy of, I'm willing to receive this judgment. And and I have my head above the clouds, and I have a better idea of what's going on, but I'm not willing to put up with any more bullshit. And it's kind of like this energy of, this is at the very top. It's talking about having learned this discernment of, and the information came in. This has been going on a long time. This is the energy I'm picking up. So it's talking about some sort of clarity, some judgment coming in, and it's coming in on the physical. And when I look at the cards here, you know, we have the Magician is pointing as above, so below. So he's talking about, after being in this difficult energy here, the Wounded Warrior energy, you are going to have the passion to move forward. Like, this is the rebel with a cause. Like, this is really going to move you forward. And that's what he's pointing to. This energy is going to become this energy. Hang in there. It's that type of energy. Now, as far as judgment coming on the physical level, this can definitely talk about being in unfair competition of some sort. And this can talk about a breadcrumbing energy of someone taking what's not theirs. It's sitting right on this here. Look how tightly they're holding on to your, you know, they want what is yours here. Sometimes this can represent an inheritance that you didn't get, or a trust or something like that. And it's sitting on the ancestors here. So I feel like this energy, maybe when this soulmate energy comes in, this is someone that can really empower you to be able to move forward and get you on, you know, like the two of you combined, that energy. It's not like 1 + 1 = 2. It's more like 1 + 1 = infinite potential. But this card here can represent not just mental prison, but it can actually represent physical prison. And this is judgment in the court systems of the planet. And again, here being brought down to earth. This can be an investigation that is wrapping up now, and the information is coming in. And I'm not convinced about this Empress, whether she's involved in this energy, in this investigation. Or if she's been the one taking this money, or this is representing your energy of having reached this high level manifestation from everything you've been through. We're going to have to clarify it to be able to see. So from the bottom to the top and back down, we have the Wounded Warrior energy, doing your best to stay on the path. You're doing really well. You managed to land 8 wands despite all this difficult energy. You have new passion for moving forward. The Hierophant is coming in with a blessing of the truth for you, and judgment is being called, and it's being called on the physical as well as the spiritual realm. And we have, this could be talking about you being elevated to this Empress status, or it's about this Empress status being, who's been wanting to take your money from you, that she is being brought to justice. And I almost feel like that's more what this is talking about. We'll clarify it, but this is the judgment, double judgment. So it's talking about, it's on its way. It's and this energy is talking about being able to move forward in a real strong way, and no more breadcrumbing, actually having like the lifestyle that you should have. I'm going to clarify with my oracle. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. I will clarify now with swords. I thank you for your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. And yeah, this judgment coming in is coming from the universe as well as the energy of the divine and the courts in the law. Now, there's some sort of something that's been going on for a long time. So there could be a lot of people involved in this energy. And if the Empress is involved, she would be someone that's high authority, you know, someone that has the ability to, she has some sort of power to be able to take from other people. And if she's been doing this for 35 years, well, then she's probably doing it to other people as well. So let's see. I'm going to clarify. This is the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in the order they are on my website, talesfromthevector.com. And this is how they're listed in the gallery. And I will put them in the description box below, and we will see what the heck is going on here. I just feel like this kind of like real heavy energy, abuse of power, like just willing pretty much to do anything to have this. Like, it's, you know, almost like a freight train running someone, like just like whatever, get out of my way, and the kind of energy. We have the Sagittarius energy here, and it's talking about expansion rather than contraction. So it is talking about this energetic upgrade coming in and being able to get out of this wounded warrior energy, because you've been on your destined path. This goes back to when you were a child. And so this could be sibling rivalry. This could be cousin energy, friends that you knew back then, and they are somehow involved. You know, this, you'll have to go way back to that time frame and see the energy of Sagittarius. Also, in the constellation of Sagittarius, there's a black hole. And a lot of people feel that that is the cosmic heart of the Milky Way, the actual heartbeat for the Milky Way. And this is talking about this not just being a situation for you, but this being bigger than that. It's affecting other people that have had this energy directed their way as well. And we have Scorpio energy coming in, and this is, are you going to use your words and your actions to elevate others or to conquer them? When we do have this, horoscope signs coming in a collective general reading like this, I just want you to be aware, I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about the qualities of each of the signs, because the astrological energy right now is really, it's kind of crazy tonight. We've got a full moon coming up here really quickly here, and that energy is talking about the it's in Aquarius, and it's talking about your needs as an individual as opposed to the needs of the group, the family. And it's also talking about Saturn goes retrograde today as I'm doing this reading. And so that's having kind of like, it's a heavy planet. We have Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. They're all big planets moved into new signs. And it's a heavy energy. It's like for the world, like just there's a lot going on. And that Saturn going retrograde today, like this is right after Mercury was, communication was off. Mercury's back, and we've got communication now headed in the right direction. So this energy could have been waiting a long time for this Saturn energy, where it is right now, for these planets to all be moving at exactly this time in the way that they are. It's a pretty powerful energy, and it's just for a short period here. So, oh, and look at this. We have the devil energy, so the temptation energy coming in. And it's on this money here and this breadcrumbing energy and this possible prison energy. Yikes. Okay, so this is the temptation. So this is talking about, you know, someone being tempted here. The devil energy, you're not going to get the truth from the devil. The devil is very manipulative energy. So I always get the next card up. I want to see what minion does the devil send in to get him, you know, get his dirty work done here. And what is going to happen here? Like, does God stop it? What can we figure out here? So this is talking about someone who the devil sends in that creates a lot of drama. So someone that, you know, they smile in your face, but behind the scenes, it's not good what's going on. So someone that really enjoys drama and creating drama for others. They're constantly stirring the pot. And like, this is, you know, putting people in a position where they have to fight for what's theirs, or run away from this energy because it's so intense, or just get stuck. And meanwhile, in the meantime, look how tight this energy is hanging on to. And there's sirens all of a sudden going off in the street like crazy here. This is going to be, I feel like, kind of a bit of a wild weekend, this energy, like you can just feel it brewing. And then with the full moon, and then also with this Saturn energy, like it's just the battle star energy. This is about the solar plexus. This is talking about having the courage to do the right thing, to face whatever this is. Like, I feel like this is a big wallop of information that you're going to find out about from way back when. And this might even be something like, you know, that you're involved, your ancestors, and whatever this is, it's not, it's a lot of drama, man, like a lot. And then we have attachment. Yeah, like, look at this. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Does that sound fair to you? So this is talking about, you know, someone really felt that, hey, I'm taking what's yours, like, and it's mine. And you can't have anything that belongs to me, but I'm taking what belongs to you. And they really felt that they were going to get away with this. And if they, well, of course, it looks like they've been getting away with it for a very long time. So, you know, I don't know why justice has to be so slow sometimes. You know, I'm just reading the cards here. The Hermit energy is coming in twice, though. So it's talking about, you know, this energy, it's God's timing, that's why. And I do feel that this, you are not the only person that this, the people involved in this are people that have done this to other people, and they've been successful doing it. And you might be the one person that the wrong one, the wrong one, right for the world, wrong for them. Because Uranus, as well as Saturn, we've got Saturn and Neptune and Uranus, these big planets. And Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini. And whenever this card comes up, I'm thinking, okay, what was going on back then? Because Uranus moved into Gemini a couple months ago. And the last time Uranus has been in Gemini was 1941 to 1949, which is like World War II and the aftermath. And we're still dealing with the truths that came out. And all of the, you know, there was a lot of money that was stolen from people, and, you know, a lot going on back then. And it's almost like this could be going back to that time frame. The thing about Uranus in Gemini, it's going to be in, Uranus is in Gemini for like the next 7.5 to 8 years. It just moved in a couple months ago. And you may be noticing like the truth is coming out in really weird ways. Like if you watch the, you know, any podcasts on YouTube and that, it's crazy the kind of information that's coming out, and the way that it's coming out is like really, you know, people that thought they got away with things for like decades are now being, they're finding out that the hard way that they've been caught, and it's going way back. And I feel like this energy, Uranus in Gemini wants the truth to come out. And, you know, it's really a, Gemini, the energy is very quick-witted and very, you know, Geminis often are, people will say, oh, Geminis, they're, you know, they can switch personalities. It's like they're two people, but they're very quick-witted. And so they can see things from all angles, and they're very adaptable to change. And so it's kind of like a lot is changing on the planet right now. A lot of truth is coming out, and we're just starting to see the beginning of it. We've got another, you know, till 2033 to go. So this energy is about people thinking the grass is greener on the other side. And so then they find out it's fake. You know, like it's kind of like when you're going after somebody else's life and what was supposed to be given to them and their destiny, and actually wanting it, like getting so attached to it that you're willing to do anything here to have it. And look how tight, you know, this person is hanging on to this, like as if it's already theirs, right? So what else is going on here? Indifference. Yeah. When people say, hey, we're all in it together, quite often they're indifferent to the suffering that they're causing. And that's this energy of this Empress on top here. I think that clarifies for us here that you could have been moved up into the proper Empress energy, because we have two hermits here. So this could say that you've been elevated to that energy, but I definitely feel there's somebody that's in power and they're cold. Like, you know what I'm like, they are totally indifferent to other people's suffering. They don't care. They're attached to this. They want this. They don't care what they like. It's cutthroat energy. They're willing to risk everything. And they're the ones that will smile in your face and say, oh, you know, the two-faced, very two-faced energy here. Oh yes, we're all in it together. And they might be someone that is looked up to because they hold a position of power in some way, and everybody thinks they're this person that they show that face about. But on behind the scenes, they're very different. And it's like this smile in your face, and then behind your back, they're not quite so nice. So I feel like that's the kind of energy that you're dealing with. Judgment is being called. It's being shown all over this reading. I feel like this is not just for you. This is for more than one person, definitely. But you might have an idea what's going on here, but you may not realize how deep this really goes. And maybe you don't realize, with God's judgment coming out twice, with the devil here on top of it, that you are very highly protected here. And so, just recognize that you might be an instrument being used by God to make sure that this energy comes to justice, not just for you, but for other people who maybe just don't feel like they can, they might be just stuck in this energy, and they're here and they can't get out. So this is a really interesting reading, but it's kind of like, why do people have to be this way? I don't know. It's amazing how cruel some people can be, really. Anyway, we're going to take it. People can also be very lovely and loving, and most people are that way. It just seems like the ones that, we hear about the ones that aren't, even in the readings here. But this is definitely saying that whatever this situation is, judgment is definitely coming through, and you are protected. Like the devil's out here, but I feel that this energy is going to cause more trauma for the people involved in doing this. I feel that they're about to find out the hard way that you can't just get attached to someone else's destiny and take it from them. I mean, how ridiculous. In any case, we'll let this one go. I do hope you've enjoyed the tale. Give it a like and comment if you have. I really do thank you for your time, your energy, and your subscribes and all of that. I will be back with another daily reading for you again tomorrow. Bye for now.